Hello everyone, we have Orlando and Fernando, co-founders of Volinga AI. We're going to do a small talk now. Probably some of you already attend to our last talk, but today we are going to do a small modification. We are going to actually show a NeRF running on a LED wall. And I think this is the first public demonstration. There are some tests on the stage, but yeah.
Yeah, we are making history here, guys, for NeRF and for virtual production, I think. It's the first time you're going to see in public real-time rendering of NeRF within a real production, virtual production system.
So
yeah.
our talk, now from lab to the stage, that's what we like to use as our motto, as Volinga. What we are doing is taking the NeRF research from the lab to the stage, to the hands of the professional in the production segment. So we're going to be talking a little bit about what is a NeRF for those of you that are not familiar with this technology. Then we are going to do a little bit recap on how you can capture NeRFs, because we want you to leave this talk knowing how to start using NeRFs, both the tools, the capture process, and how you can use it in your VFX and production pipelines. And yeah, this is the last part, the demos of what use cases you can use or you can cover with NeRF.
So very quick introduction to NeRF. Well, Rob was doing a great presentation just before about NeRF, but I think that this is a combination of computer graphics. There is a lot of computer graphics in it, and then you have machine learning, because you use a neural network in order to encode something that we call the radiance field. And then we understand that this is a generative AI technology, because you can generate novel viewpoints of any scene that you have recorded before. This is not photogrammetry. It is a new way of creating 3D representations. So NeRF is a primitive computer graphics primitive. Okay, so it's going to replace meshes. It's going to replace polygons. So it is not a reconstruction method. We are not trying to create a mesh. We are trying to create other kind of representation that is based in neural networks. But it is not magic. You still need to follow certain good practices in order to capture the data that the neural network is going to be trained with. So you have a machine learning process, as you know, most probably already. You need to curate, you need to take care that the data is very good quality. So this is what Fernando is going to be talking, those good practices, and also to differentiate ourselves from other tools that you have right now. You have Instant NGP that is provided by NVIDIA. It's open for use, but mainly for research and development. It is not open for commercial use. Then you have an open source project, which is NeRF Studio from University of Berkeley. They are doing a great job. We base our solution on that project, and we are contributors to that project. Our value proposition is that we are accelerating the methods that we are open sourcing there. We are accelerating the inference part of those methods to run really quickly, really fast on NVIDIA GPUs. Luma, they are doing a great job as well, bringing NeRFs to the market. They are more B2C. They are focused on consumers. And in our case, we are focused on B2B, focused on companies, and specifically in virtual production. And we are trying to understand very well the needs that they have and the constraints that they have, and to bring this awesome technology to the hands of the professionals over there.
Well, so now you know how to get started with NeRFs. You have the different tools, but you need to know how to capture them. One of the biggest problems we find at Volinga when users are starting is that they actually don't know how to capture NeRFs, and they do a bad quality capture, and they think NeRFs is not for them. And we want to solve this, so we're going to give you just some tips so you can get high quality NeRFs, and we are going to show you 3 different, let's say, camera paths, camera movements that will allow you to get high quality NeRFs really easily. Before I start with the camera paths, I want you to take into account that you will need, as Orlando said, good quality data. That means not blurry regions, no motion blur, no autofocus regions. And also, you will need a resolution maybe bigger than HD, 4K is really good. And then you will try to have enough data. So maybe you cannot create an NeRF from 4 or 5 images. Well, you can, but it will be really difficult. So we recommend either to use videos to get enough frames or to go between 80, 150 images. Having said that, the first NeRF that you can already take as you leave this talk is orbiting around an object. We have this small animation showing the camera path, but basically what you have to do is orbit around an object using 3 different heights, being very careful not to tilt the camera. If you tilt the camera either up or down, it may not give you the right parallax. Parallax is another important word when talking about NeRFs. You can see some examples here of how sample footage, and then these are the results. These are the actual results from the NeRF. So these are generated videos, not the real ones. The second NeRF you can take after this talk is maybe trying to capture either a wall or maybe this stage from this distance, just using we call it planar capture. So you have your camera and you just do a little lateral movement, 3 different heights again as before. Sorry, I didn't start the animation. 3 different heights as before. And this will give you enough parallax and enough region of operation to work with your NeRFs. We'll talk later about how you can use it. These are some examples of these captures, this kind of captures. And these are the kind of videos you can get with this kind of captures. And then, well, let's look at it for some more seconds. There is another, this is a little bit trickier, because when you are capturing a room, many people try to capture the details and literally put the camera really close to the wall. This is a problem because when you arrive to the corner, you will probably pan your camera, destroying your parallax. So a good trick for starting capturing indoors is just put your back as close to the wall as you can. Imagine an object in the middle of the scene. We'll do that. And just do as if you were orbiting an imaginary object in the middle of the room. Again, 3 heights. You can do more, but I will say that 3 is the minimum required. And yeah, basically I will skip the rest part of the video, but you can see more or less how the movement is orbiting the room. And okay, well, these are the kind of videos you can get, which are really appealing maybe for real estate. But we are today focused on the production segment. So how do I use my NeRF when I have captured it in the production, in a real production? Well, you can do several things with it. For example, you can use it for VFX. NeRFs are really good when you want to do like impossible camera movement, either too fast, too slow, Maybe if you want to you will need a really skilled drone pilot or maybe a robotic arm. You can do it with NeRFs. Actually, we have a really good example of one of our users. This was done for a commercial, for a Japanese university. The goal is to try to do a falling camera on this alley. The problem is that, well, it's not broad enough, and you might crash your drone. So what I do is just scan this alley using a drone and the rooftop of the building on the right, and then I will move. You can see the result here. NeRF in, NeRF out. You can do these cool camera movements without having to crash your drones. And well, there is also some other use cases that do, for example, in-camera VFX. And here we are going to have a little demo, and we'll talk about other use cases where we saw a NeRF on the LED wall. So,
yeah, people in the industry are thinking about virtual scouting, previs,
okay, so
post-vis, and real production.
Are we getting the camera frustrum? Okay, it's there. So you should be seeing the result there on these TV monitors. Is it? On this, okay. So maybe Orlando, can you play as an actor? Or is there some volunteer that wants to play as an actor?
Volunteers?
No?
Volunteers? You? Yeah, we have one. Thank you. So you stand here.
Yeah, okay. Some things we can do with an F, for example, is assume you want to capture you are shooting on this scene. This is in Tenerife. You have moved all your crew to Tenerife, but then once you're back, you realize that our awesome actor just mesh up with their lines, and we have to reshoot the scene. Before leaving the location, you can just do a quick scan, 1 minute scan, and use this background scene as as your scene in an LED wall to reshoot this previous scene using our actor.
Yeah,
Or-
we say backup environments.
Exactly.
To back up an environment for
Or-
reshooting or pickups later on.
Let's do another thing. Yeah. For example, sometimes we have really we have All-Star here. He will probably not go back to Tenerife, but we are now making the making of the film, some promo, some marketing content, and doing this marketing content on just a stage, general stage, is not appealing enough. But what we can do is use this 1 minute scan to put our actor in a LED wall and pretend we were doing all this content, all this marketing content on the actual location. So how was your stay in Tenerife?
Wonderful. I love Tenerife.
Yeah, you see. Other case you came out with a pre-visualization, looking how a location will look like when you are shooting, planning your camera, your scenes. Post-vis also, when VFX artist has to apply some effects on the scene, it is really helpful to know how it actually looks like, because you don't usually have your VFX artist on your location. I don't know if I'm missing someone, but you can also think about all kind of different use cases with this stuff. I think that the cool thing about NeRFs is that with just 1 minute capture, it was captured with a drone, with a phone. You get a photoreal environment that you can use for a lot of different use cases. The amount of work, time, and money you need is nothing. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
So yeah, this was all. I don't know if we have some time for questions. Okay. Any questions?
So how long is it going to take you to make this about 100% better, the resolution and all that?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good question. Well, we are working to improve performance. Right now, we expect to achieve 24 frames per second at 4K resolution by the end of the year. We're working closely with stages to get this actually test on a stage. This was said, well, the team worked really hard, but it was said during yesterday and this morning. Probably there are a lot of optimizations we can make in the actual setup of the scene, but for sure, there's still some optimization that have to be made on the technology side.
Yeah, it has to do also with the quality of the NeRF methods themselves. We are reusing these methods published in the NeRF Studio open source project, but we may be reusing other methods that are already published in the literature. And sorry, say again?
Neurangelo. Well, we will see what is the license of Neurangelo, because if they have the same license than Instant GP, you cannot use it commercially. So we'll see. But for sure, we have an eye on an eye on the product and an eye on the research, and that's what we try to do: move all this research work into these stages.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, great work. So I'm a lighting designer, and I would like to NeRF an existing space, like like an environment or like a gallery or something. Can I relight a NeRF?
Okay, so you're trying to
Relight.
relight.
Yeah,
Okay.
once it's captured.
Okay. Right now, there is no feasible or there is no good alternative or methods to relight NeRFs, let's say in a complete physically based manner. You can do some stuff using, we are planning to actually to ship this kind of relighting by the end of the year too, playing with normals, playing with depth maps, so you can have some relighting. Still, you will have, the problem is all the shadows and all the lighting that the NeRFs has baked in. So you will probably relight this actual already light scene. Then there is another approach that we're also trying to follow, which is more research-based, which is trying to get from the NeRF capture the different texture maps, the different albedo, metallic, all of this, but this might take longer.
Just a follow-on question about, because you talked about baked in, is there a way to unlight, make it unlit at least?
Yeah, I can answer that. Relighting is a open research challenge in NeRF. So there are a couple of lines of research very interesting. One of them, which is the one we are following, Google is working on it and NVIDIA as well, is to use PBR in combination with NeRF. So during a training process, you extract the materials. You extract not only the normals and the depth, but also the metallic, roughness, and the albedo. So you get the base color. And then you extract or you infer the environmental map as well. So this line of research, I think it will allow what you are saying, relighting in a more convenient way, in the way that VFX professionals do right now.
Yeah, online, yeah. There is, you could do it the same way, trying to play with the normals and the depth maps. And you could buy it. The problem is that the texture you will have on the NeRF is still kind of light because you still have the shadows there. You cannot remove the shadows from the texture of the objects. So it's not fully lightable. Anyway, for example, in the use case of art exhibitions, all of this, I think it depends on your environment. You can try to control the environment scene to have as diffuse light as possible. And then using this normals and depth map approximation, lighting will work pretty well.
Thank you.
So have you guys played around with taking an HDRI at the same time? And then you must have.
Yeah. I think this is the most.
Can you repeat the question?
Taking an HDRI image from the NeRF, from the location, so you can just play. I think this is one of the most requested features on Siggraph this year. So yeah, we are definitely thinking about it and implementing it probably on the last quarter of the year. Yeah.
And then the other question I had, is there any way to combine it with a LiDAR scan so you can actually map it onto the proper kind of scale of geometry? Because they don't scale. I mean, they're just...
That's right. Yeah, actually, tell the team that had a hard time trying to match the scale here. Yeah, there's also another interesting line of work we are trying to explore using, for example, maybe Agisoft for reality capture that also can take this point cloud of the LiDAR when you solve the camera alignment, because it's all the scale problem relies on the camera alignment process, which we are using ColdMap here. ColdMap is unscale, so that's the problem. If you use this kind of softwares that NeRF Studio actually admits right now, you can solve this.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. That most of the time when the training process breaks or when it doesn't give you a good quality is because the position of the cameras and the orientation is not really ground truth or close to the ground truth. Because right now we use old-fashioned, so to speak, methods to extract the so-called intrinsics and extrinsics of the cameras, and that's not NeRF. That's from computer vision, and so Agisoft or reality capture, they have done a really great job to do this, but that's not NeRF. So I think there is an opportunity of improvement in that stage of the pipeline, because it causes most of the problem. And that's an interesting thing regarding NeRF, is that if you feed the neural network during the training with the wrong data, inconsistent data, for example, it's not going to learn. So yeah, we have to change a little bit the mindset when we capture for NeRFs.
Thank you for a presentation. My question, what kind of materials when for NeRFs production? What's, for example, just scattering or Fresnel reflectivity?
You mean for creating the NeRF?
Thank you.
What is the material you need for creating the NeRF? Just a video. I mean, the video we saw at the beginning on how to capture NeRFs, they were actually all captured with this iPhone. Just using just a video or pictures from your phone or from a camera, it works. As we were talking before, you can try to improve the quality, maybe using some LiDAR scans or using some more information, but now it is more or less exploratory, this line. But yeah, you just need your phone. So thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And thank you very much to the team.
Thank you to the team. Awesome job for the last 2 days. Yeah. Thank you.